Is this what you want? Come on, strike me down, Zeus. You don't have the ball.
What's going on, gamers? Today I want to teach you how to live to the fullest. And by that, I mean how to play her. Liv is finally back in her new frame as an S-rank Lightning and Darkflow affixed attacker arriving in the upcoming update where nightmares dwell. And in this video guide, I'll cover Liv Limpidity's preliminary meta playstyle rotations, rank upgrades, weapons, builds and team setups, her cub, and my pull and build recommendations. I'll also cover some new major features coming in the patch as well, and Luna Oblivion's Leap upgrade will be covered in a separate video or YouTube short for easy future reference. Also, please check the pinned comment down below for any updates or corrections since this is based on her beta version and is subject to change, and this video is kind of more meant to be a baseline to get you started. And timestamps will be provided as usual. And if you find this video helpful, drop a like, check out my Twitch, and share those who are interested in Liv or PGR, and I'll try to answer any questions in the comments when I can. Anyways, let's live it up. Alright, so Liv decided that she was done healing and wanted to become a dedicated DPS after trying it out in her Imperial form. OGs will remember those days. But Liv Limpidity has multiple different inputs that she can combo for a multitude of different attacks. So I'll cover her in detail first, followed by a TLDR, and then I'll cover some meta rotations to get you started. And as usual, timestamps are available for each section for your convenience. As for how to play her, like other units, Liv Limpidity wants to enter her ultimate form ASAP. She starts battle with only red and yellow orbs in her regular form, and pinging a matrix or 3-orb ping will give 2 shards, indicated at the center of her gauge. And you need 4 shards to fill up that gauge. Once you got 4 shards, you can hold down the dodge button to consume the gauge in a lightning strike, granting ultimate energy and also proccing matrix. And then you can tap the ult to enter her ult form. And here you can ping blue orbs to obtain white orbs. And these are stored on the second row of orbs here. You can store up to a maximum of 4 white orbs, and you can ping the first orb to consume these white orbs, filling up the core passive gauge as seen here. When the gauge is full, keep holding the basic attack or the first orb to consume that gauge for the ultimate energy, and then you can tap ult to twist your enemy's jewels. I mean, what? Alternatively, you can also hold dodge to consume the orbs automatically for a fast ult rotation, and this is indicated by the flower on the gauge there. Some other notable things about Liv: she actually has 2 QTEs, a regular lightning damage QTE, which just does some AoE lightning damage, and a special QTE with a 15-second cooldown, after which she deals additional lightning damage and gives 1 free orb on swap-in, kind of like the Linga Deer Pet orb passive. You can tell by the blue circle that goes around her portrait, and you can also adjust the camera animation in the QTE menu. Liv also does lightning strikes with her dodge, dealing damage to enemies. This can also chain enemies as well, and she also has a special dodge in her ult form, where she teleports behind the enemy. This can also be timed with a counterattack right after the animation by using the basic attack. And also after the 4th basic attack, the 5th basic attack, where she's airborne, can be held to trigger Umbra. It's not super practical, but it's there, I guess. Now for the TLDR, for the full rotation, you want to use 2 3 pings. You can skip this step if you just swapped in, and then you want to hold down dodge, and then tap ult, and then use 2 blue matrix or 3 pings, get white orbs, and then you want to tap the first orb 4 times to consume those white orbs, and then you want to hold down the first orb or basic attack until the gauge is depleted. The ultimate gauge should be full here. Then you can tap ult for the finisher. Now for the fast rotation, it's the same thing. You want to use 2 3 pings unless you can just swapped in, and once the gauge is full, you can hold down dodge and then tap ult, and then use 2 blue matrix or 3 pings, and then hold down dodge until the ultimate is up. And then you can tap ult for the ultimate finisher. Now these are not the only rotations, especially with SS3 or higher, but these are the base rotations at SS. So now let's fit this into her team rotation. So quickly before I get into team rotations, I do need to quickly cover that this is again fairly subject to change. As the time of me making this guide, we've had maybe about 2 weeks or so of initial beta testing on Liv, so this is more meant to be a baseline rotation to get you started. Feel free to experiment, and at the end of the day, it will depend on your team's specific investment. Now, these rotations will also assume you have her 6-star signature weapon. The 5-star weapon rotation will be covered in the weapon section, but it's basically just one full ult rotation. And I'll have timestamps depending on the investment and team. Let's start with the SS Lightning team rotation. We're going to start on 21 and then swap into Liv to do her full and then fast ult rotation. So after we swap in, we're going to hold dodge and then tap ult. Then we're going to use 2 blue matrix or 3 pings, and then tap the first orb 4 times to consume the white orbs. Then hold the first orb or basic attack until the gauge is depleted and the ult gauge is full, and then tap the ult finisher. Then we're going to use 2 3 pings, hold dodge, tap ult, use 2 blue matrix or 3 pings, hold down dodge until the ultimate is up, and then tap ult. Next, we're going to swap into Nanami Star Trail to do her double ult Lightning Rotation. So we're going to ping orbs twice that are greater than 3 until the gauge is full, then tap the yellow orb, and then basic attack 4 times or until she has 300 stacks, and then hold basic attack, and then ult. And then we're going to repeat this rotation again. Now with triple S, you can probably do a hold basic attack for the first ult rotation since the swap cooldown is much shorter. And if you have any downtime, you can swap in Feral, do 2-3 pings twice, and then swap off, and then you can go back into Liv and repeat the team rotation again. Now for the double S3 or higher lightning rotation, we're going to start with 21 Feral again, and then swap into Liv for her fast and then full ult rotation. So we're going to hold dodge, tap ult, hold dodge until the ultimate is up, and then let go and tap the ult finisher. Then we're going to use 2-3 pings, hold dodge, tap ult, and then we're going to use a 3 ping blue, and then tap the first orb 4 times to consume all those white orbs. Then hold down the first orb or basic attack until the gauge is depleted and the ult gauge is full, and then tap the ultimate finisher. Then we're going to swap into Nanami Star Trail for her double ult rotation. So we're going to ping orbs twice that are greater than 3 until the gauge is full, then tap the yellow orb, and then basic attack 4 times or until she has 300 stacks, and then hold basic attack, and then ult. And then we're going to repeat this rotation again. Now with triple S, you can probably do a hold basic attack for the first ult rotation since the swap cooldown is much shorter. And if you have any downtime, you can swap in Feral, do 2-3 pings twice, and then swap off, and then you can go back into Liv and repeat the team rotation again. Now for Lightning Pancake, you can also just keep looping multiple full ultimates on Liv in order to kill the boss. This works without deadline timing and is more recommended if you don't have Nanami Star Trail to swap into cover for DPS. For the Darkflow Rotation, Vera Garivore is needed for this rotation, and deadline timing on Vera and the Linya pet on Leap Watanabe is highly recommended, and we're going to start with the Leap Watanabe and utilize his Leap QTE to apply the Darkflow Shred. We're going to swap into Vera Garivore here, use 3 pings until the ultimate is up, then hold the ultimate, and then we're going to use the red pings until the red gauge is full, and then hold basic attack to consume the gauge, and here you can dodge cancel the animations if you want, and then we're going to use the ultimate. Now we're going to swap into Liv to do her full ult rotation. So hold dodge here, tap ult, use 2 blue matrix or 3 pings, tap the first orb 4 times to consume the white orbs, and then hold the first orb or basic attack until the gauge is depleted and the ult gauge is full. And then we're going to tap the ult finisher here. Then we're going to do the fast rotation. So 2-3 pings, hold dodge, tap ult, use the 2 blue matrix or 3 pings, hold dodge until the ultimate is up, and then tap ult. Now with double S3 or higher, you can do the fast ult into full ult as seen in the double S3 lightning rotation. I'm just too lazy to explain it again. So now we're going to swap into Leap Watanabe, do a 3 ping, and then hold ult for his dark flow, hold dodge and basic attack, ping the red orbs and basic attack until you get the full ultimate stacks, and then use his ultimate. And then we're going to swap back into Vera Garivore, but we're going to do her ult rotation twice. Again, you'll need either the Deer Linya pet with deadline timing on Vera or 4-piece Herver for this. And then we're going to swap back to Liv and repeat the rotation again. Now with dodge canceling, Vera's hold basic attacks, it's possible to squeeze in 3 rotations and just not swap in Watanabe if he's triple S. And this also allows for 2 full ults on Liv as well, but it's just another rotation and there's multiple different ones you can do depending on your investment. At S5, she triggers available QTEs when using her hold dodge with the 4 shards, the hold first orb or basic attack in the ult form, and the ultimate finisher. And usually you want to use these QTEs right before ultimate finisher to maximize the damage. At double S, swapping in gives 4 free shards, letting her instantly use the hold dodge attack, and the hold basic or first orb attack gives a lot more ult energy and does more damage. And after using the ultimate finisher and swapping off, she does periodic off-field damage, and if it's a full stack ultimate, it does even more off-field damage. At double S3, she gets 2 free white orbs and some ultimate energy when entering her ult form, and the full stack ult also gives 2 shards for her hold dodge attack later on. She also does more damage in her ult form when using the hold dodge attack or the hold basic attack or first orb, and the QTE does a lot more damage after ulting. And finally, at triple S, she gets time stop on the hold basic or first orb attack in the ult form, and the ultimate finisher damage is increased. She also gets more off-field damage to add on to the double S. So for my rank recommendations, S rank is kind of rough. You maybe have enough orbs for 1 rotation, but it's also much lower damage. Double S is overall more damage and allows for a proper double ult rotation and more off-field damage, and it should be the minimum stopping point for most players, unlocked from free pancake skulls. S3 is pretty decent. You get a faster first ult rotation, which opens up the double fast ult rotation, or doing the fast ult rotation first before the full ult, and also allows more QTE damage and core passive damage as well. It's not a necessary S3, but it does open up some new rotations, and overall it's a good pickup for light spenders or if she's available in a future selector. S is a major upgrade. The first upgrade I've seen that straight up just gives time stop for her hold basic or first orb attack. It might save a couple extra seconds per full rotation, but it's not really broken, and it gives more ultimate finisher damage and off-field damage, which is very nice. So overall, a strong stopping point for heavy spenders or segs enjoyers. The weapon is a higher priority than S3 though, so let's talk about that next. And quickly running through the weapon, Liv does work with the 5-star weapon, but she will run out of orbs to do a second ult rotation. So the signature 6-star weapon essentially gives her the extra orbs that she needs to perform her double ult rotation consistently at S. It also gives her more core passive damage, some attack, and opens her up to weapon resonances. TLDR, the 5-star weapon is a usable option, free from crafting from the login box. Overall, it can work as a single ult rotation, but it does lack the damage. The 6-star weapon is needed for that double ult rotation and is recommended for proper meta damage, since she'll be the DPS of the team with Nana Knight. Now, as for weapon resonances, you do not need deadline timing for S if you're doing a full into fast ult rotation, but if you want to do 2 fast ult rotations with S, you can do it with deadline timing, but the timing is tight. With the hold dodge, you can only consume the 4 white orbs and ult ASAP if you want enough orbs to perform the second fast ult, kind of like Virgil's ass type timing. But S3 should be a little bit less strict. Otherwise, Afterglow and Incandescence for the increased damage will be your main best resonances. Now for the team setups and builds, starting with the Lightning team here, we're going to have the leader as Liv, and we're going to have the starter as 21 Feral or Ishmael. Now Liv will always be running her 4-piece Natasha for her kit-specific damage multipliers, and the 2-piece set will be 2-piece Caudy, and you want to harmonize Caudy for the increased ult damage and faster rotations. And as for resonance, for SS3 or below, you want a plus 15 attack on the top slot and core passive on the bottom slot, but for S or higher, you want ultimate or signature move on the bottom slot instead. Now for 21 Feral or Ishmael, you're going to be running 4-piece Da Vinci with 2-piece Einstein, and you want to harmonize Guinevere here. And for resonance, get the Amplifier class skill to support the team. And finally, for Anatomy Star Trail, she'll be running 4-piece Herschel and 4-piece Heisen for the Lightning Shred. And for resonance, just any plus 15 attack on the top slot and ultimate or signature move on the bottom slot. Now for the Darkflow team, the leader will be Liv and the starter will be Watanabe. We're going to have a S deadline timing Vera here. So with deadline timing, she'll be running 4-piece Bathalon with 2-piece Caudy and harmonized Einstein. If you don't have deadline timing, then 4-piece Herver and 4-piece Bathalon will be the way. And for resonance, you want plus 15 attack on the top slot, ultimate or signature move on the bottom slot. As for Leap Watanabe, you'll be running his signature 4-piece Alphino set with 4-piece Da Vinci. And you want to resonate red or plus 15 attack on the top slot and class skill on the bottom slot. 4-piece Alphinos is still required for the off-field Darkflow Shred to apply to the Fire Rain from QTE, and remember to equip the Linga Deer Pet with the Orb passive to have enough orbs for Vera. And for Liv, she'll be running 4-piece Bathalon as well with 2-piece Caudy, and you want to harmonize Point Care. Now this is useful for Warzone where the waves are weaker, and in intensive battle you can opt for 4-piece Point Care for the increased damage. And for resonance here, you want plus 15 attack and core passive for all ranks. And for budget or alternate teammates, for the Lightning team, basically you need someone to hold 4-piece Heisen, someone to hold 4-piece Da Vinci, and then fill with either 2-piece Einstein or 2-piece Guinevere depending on the unit. And if you're missing a tank or amplifier, Ishmael can always fill in. So basically if you don't have Nanami Star Trail or Feral with her weapon, although not having Nanami Star Trail would be the main limiting factor, again you can run Ishmael with 4-piece Sawdoth and 4-piece Heisen, and the resonance can be class skill or ultimate, but her rotation would just be a lot longer since you need to do some double dodging. You can also run Vera Garnet with 4-piece Da Vinci and 2-piece Einstein and tank class skill, or 4-piece Tifa to do some damage as well. And finally, if you don't have any of those options, Chrome Arclight technically works with 4-piece Da Vinci and 2-piece Einstein. Now if you don't have 21 Feral with her weapon, again Ishmael works with 4-piece Da Vinci and 2-piece Guinevere, and you want to harmonize Guinevere. And Ishmael can be a better choice than 21 if she's higher rank, since there's minimal or no field time on 21 most of the time. Or you can run a double Liv Segs team running 4-piece Da Vinci and 2-piece Guinevere. And for both of these units, you want to be running the supportive or amplifier class skills. Now for Darkflow, you need Vera Garivore to build stacks, so if you don't have her, there's not really a replacement for her. And without Leap Watanabe, you can kind of use Ishmael with 4-piece Da Vinci and 4-piece Bathalon, or a dark tank like Shire, Kami Tenebron, or number 21. But you are losing direct Darkflow resistance shred on Leap Watanabe for Dark Shred instead, which is okay, but not as good for Darkflow Warzone. Now quickly covering her pet or cub, the Cuter Dragon. Its active skill basically does some damage with a dive attack or range attack option, and its passive skill increases the base damage of ultimate finishers by 75%, and is up to 150% if Liv does a full stack ultimate, and also does coordinate attacks when using the first orb to consume those white orbs. And as for leveling, you want to level Liv's exclusive pet skill first, then the lightning and Darkflow damage buff, and then finish with the attack and active skill. But is it worth pulling? Well, the active skill is barely useful with the light stagger, but the ultimate finisher damage buff is basically what this little dread exists for, so it's not crucial to have, but if you have the spare pet tickets from Battle Pass or Norman, it's a good damage upgrade for Liv since she's the primary DPS. Liv Limpidity? Okay, who named her? Who actually named her Limpidity? Who at Kuro named her Limpidity? Why? Is a powerful lightning attacker, fully dismantling Alpha Crimson Weave's entire being by taking her role as the premier lightning and Darkflow attacker. Alpha Crimson Weave just doesn't even compare in terms of damage compared to Liv Limpidity. Liv feels more on par with Nanami Star Trail, which is already pretty broken as a unit already, but now we finally have a true DPS equivalent worth swapping off Nana Knight for. And even without Nana Knight for this lightning team, she's still strong enough as a standalone unit, able to nearly solo lightning content without swapping with deadline timing and orb management. So Liv is a strong independent unit for beginners, and although she is pretty strong, I would still highly recommend picking up Nanami Star Trail to support her. Liv is also a pretty future-proof unit as the new premier Darkflow affix stack detonator, again, sorry Alpha, and the Darkflow Warzone finally making its introduction to Hero or above Warzone, she'll be the ideal unit for that. So TLDR, highly recommended to pull and build Liv. She's worth it. Liv also does want the weapon for the double ult rotation and damage, with the pet being a decent pickup for the ult damage buff without grouping, so up to you if you want to pick it up or not. And at least this time her VFX aren't as blinding.
Like any other ability, it's like cause my eyes.
We finally have dedicated team slots with build. I used to pray for times like these. We have 30 maximum team slots now with save loadouts, so you never have to swap memory sets manually again once you set them up once. So for example, you can save your pain cage and warzone setups for each element. You can save your specific memory builds for each character, save your pet skills, save your start position and leader. It's just long overdue. We also have the new 3D Babylonia mode, which I'll cover more in another video, but essentially it's a new instance area where you can walk around as your own customized commandant or any character that you want and interact with them, and also do quests, minigames for rewards, unlock chests for hypertune materials and pulls, and much more. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. You know, Liv kind of gives me Yuno vibes from Wuwa, but it might just be the diving ult animation and the color scheme. But thanks for watching, and not really much to say outside of I'm pretty dead inside after all the testing and team builds this time around, but I do want to thank everyone that's helped me compile and test Liv, LOL, and Josmiek for their suggestions, and Empress for the Triple S reference. Again, I want to try to continue and make and release these guides before character releases to at least give you guys a decent baseline on how to get started on release day, but this is all recorded and tested on the CN beta, so again, subject to change. I'll add any major changes in the pinned comment down below though. Again, join the Discord to get notified for video guides and streams, or just ask questions in chat. Join me on Twitch to get questions answered live, and also drop a like if you found this video helpful, a dislike if you didn't, subscribe for more guides for future characters, and a big thanks to my editor Psyche for their hard work, and my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers and all the viewers for their continued support. Yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Take care, never spend out of your own means, good luck on your pulls, segs, and peace late gamers.